welcome to Scrolling with Ceazor. Today is July 20th, 2026. As usual, I have a lot of tweets for you today, but let's take a quick look at the charts. We've got a little bit of green candles today. Things are continuing in the slightly small uptrend, which is nice. Happy for this. All the charts look okay. Let's see how gold is. Gold is sitting, probably bouncing around near the bottom of my chart. Yes, BTC up 1%. Hype up 1% as well. Hype's down quite a bit, but it's still doing okay. Yeah, so that's enough of that today. You can take a look at the charts yourself and figure out how you feel. I'm not sure exactly what's going to go. I'm just going to continue to play my liquidity positions and farm the volume. Okay, so let's get into the tweets. But as always, this is no financial advice. You make your own decisions. You figure out what you want to invest in. This is just some stuff that I found that are pretty interesting. Okay, so first of all, Yield Basis is planning to scale some more. So Proposal 51 allocates part of YB fees to a strategic reserve for CRV stability, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, so they're gonna use some of the fees from Yield Basis to direct them towards creating more stability for CRV. And if CRV USD has more stability, then they can raise the caps on this. Now, I think it's pretty interesting. Of course, I'm biased as crap on this. I've got yield basis tokens. I've got them staked. I kind of don't want to give up my fees for stability, but at the same time, you got to do what's good for the protocol, not just what's good for your APR. But if I do go to, let's check out Yearn Finance and let's see what they're currently quoting. Ecosystem YB USD. And of course it's not, so 28%. So this wallet doesn't have anything. So it's if I decide to earn in CRV USD, then I get about 17%. And if I decide to earn in more auto compounding YB, then it's up about 28%. And that's because, the token is going up and down in value, right? So this changes based on the value of those yield basis tokens. So yeah, so I think it's still pretty good. You can get a dividend, or you can get more and more of those tokens if you want, and decide what you want to do. So that's kind of what I'm sitting at with that. So if we take a look at liquidity, the next one, Bold stablecoin, my favorite stablecoin by far right now. Let's take a look what it says. Beating the reference rate. So why Bold or all the Bold? Let's say both yield-bearing Bolds variants have consistently outperformed what most people consider safe yield. So he's talking about S Bold and Y Bold, and he's comparing it to SUSDS and USDE. So I hold some SUSDS in some liquidity pools, and I don't want to change them just because they're in liquidity pools, but I kind of wish I had used Y Bold instead, or even S Bold as my interest-bearing stablecoin. But I hold those as well. So I hold Y Bold right now. But anyhow, so and on top of it, Bold is actually safer than these other ones, because there's quite a bit of admin proxy upgradable contracts. It's backed by USDC. These other tokens are not safe when you compare to Bold. And you can go to Pharos and check, right? So let's go to Pharos. And let's check, compare, let's go to search, compare Bold to USDS and USDE. So if we take a look, I don't want that one, but yeah, so here, taking a look at Pharos, we've got A+, A-, and C-, right? So yeah. Now, of course, when people look at it, they'll look at the market cap, and this is only 30 million, and this one's 4 billion, and this is 6 billion, and people will look at that and it must be safer because there's so much more money there, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean that, right? The safety scores mean a lot. Just go and do some research and figure out why this one's safer. Or I can kind of tell you it's because anyone can redeem it. If you hold Bold, if you buy into Bold, and you want to redeem it, you simply just redeem it for the ETH. You just get the ETH, right? It's as simple as that, right? However, if you hold USDS, then you have to depend on the liquidity pools. You can't redeem someone else's CDP. So it's just safer. Anyhow, I don't want to dwell too much, spend too much time, but that's that, okay? So taking a look at this, so I saw this. This is pretty interesting. So gas tank fee sponsorship for safe accounts. Top up your gas tank to cover across 18 networks. Gas made easy. So I haven't looked at how this exactly works yet, but it used to be, whenever you send a transaction, it shows you who paid the gas, and now it'll just show that this wallet, this smart contract paid the gas for you. But I have some questions about it. I need to look a little bit deeper. But I did ask some questions somewhere. Let's see if I refresh this. Will it show? I think I might have asked the questions on the Ombre. Yeah. So anyhow, so that's pretty cool. I got to figure out some more information on it. I did ask these questions somewhere. Why aren't my questions showing up? Maybe I don't know where they are. I'll have to dig through. But anyways, so some of the questions I asked was does Ombre store who has access to pay this gas in this account? Can people see who has ownership of that, and is it saved in the cache of the browser? And what happens if I reduce the cache or erase the cache, right? So anyways, there's some questions, but I still think it's pretty good that bundling up the gas into a single gas tank is pretty useful. Sometimes I've considered using the Rabi one, but I just didn't want to link my wallets together, even if it's whatever. Anyhow, so moving on. So cryptocurrency, Simon Dijic says cryptocurrencies are dead. Long live on-chain finance. As you can see, Bitcoin price, the market cap of Bitcoin is down quite a bit in the past little while. However, since the tokenized stocks have come on chain, they're growing steadily, and now the market cap of tokenized stocks is more than the market cap of Bitcoin. And I think that I feel a little bit bad about this in some ways. I don't really like Bitcoin very much, particularly. I feel like it's just a complicated, expensive meme coin for the most part. But it does have that proof of work backing and stored energy narrative and stuff like that. And I do know that if Bitcoin goes to zero, then everything else will go to zero because it's just correlated still. But I think it's still better than some of the things about tokenized stocks, because these tokenized stocks might be for more tokenized stock TVL, but that I'm not sure if that includes derivatives, stocks that are tokenized but really are nothing but just fluff. It's meaningless. It's definitely not stocks that were minted exclusively to the blockchain. It is definitely not that. It's just TradFi with a token that allows you to trade the token, but you still don't have direct ownership or redeemability. You still have to go through the the normal banking system. It's not buying some immutable permissionless DeFi token and staking it and getting rev share, or voting in a DAO or something like this. It's not the same as that. So I feel like it's a little bit sad that this is happening, but everybody just wants more money into the ecosystem however it comes. So there's always going to be praisers and stuff. Moving on. So Prey.Gwei, he aped or sniped a whole bunch of these .gwei addresses and then put them up for sale, and he has sold some of them and made profit on that. I feel like this is I feel like it's kind of good and kind of terrible. I feel like I wish these things were not so he sold it for 10 ETH, but it was all because he just kind of aped it first, and the Pudgy Penguins they want it, right? So they pay him 10 ETH for it. But it's it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. So it's a good thing because then if he sniped it, and then he went out and probably tried to sell these, right? sell these to those people. So he shared awareness of the protocol and deserves to be rewarded for that. However, because he aped a whole bunch of them, like if somebody aped Ceazor.gui and then tried to sell it to me, I just say I don't want it. I'm not going to use it. So it also hurts adoption. These snipers, they're scalpers, right? So it's a good and a bad. And I'm not decided on which is worse or which is more important or which is more significant. The fact that they stunt the growth of the idea because they charge too much. Like I can't remember how much it was. It was like something 0.0001, and he sold it for 10. It's like, what? Like, no, right? But then at the other hand, like he does go out and try to sell it. So I don't know. What do you think? Moving on. So Rise Chain has started their season 1 points. It's Ignite. You can trade on Rise Chain, you can build on Rise Chain, you can integrate. There's a whole bunch of ways to get points. You can read through there's retroactive points for people who are already trading. You can go get some points there. I do have some affiliate links here. There's 3 here, but I think the third one's gone already. This website does not track whether or not they're gone or not. These are first come, first serve. So you can go to my secret sandwich.xyz and go to the links at the top here, and then you can snag one of those before anyone else. So yeah, I'm not going to tweet this out. I'm just going to say it in the video. So if you're watching the video, then you know that those links are there and you can get some. I'm not sure if there's any kind of benefit to it. I'd have to double check again. But anyways, moving on. So Strategy has increased its US dollar reserve to 225 million. Apparently they sold some more STR, some more stocks, right? And raised more money, right? Now, this is kind of funny, and I think it's kind of crazy, but I think it's kind of funny. So it's like this USDC treasury company is looking promising. They keep adding US dollars to their balance sheet. So he's mocking him, right? And then Spreck comes in. I love borrowing at 12% so I can buy more dollars. And then there are only $150 trillion in existence. He is simply trying to accumulate more supply of this superior, scarce global currency. Good strategy, if you ask me. So, yeah, like the pivot of Strategy is kind of saddening and kind of like obvious that he would just sell out and go back into, like, he's got to like pay his dividends. So I get that, but it's like all he had to do was stay pure, but no, he got greedy. And he was like, I got to get more money, and I got to get bigger, and I got to get more greedy, and more money, and more money. And they just like started doing stuff that now has him in a situation where he's no longer a Bitcoin reserve. He's something else, right? Moving on, Frax Finance, Sam Kazemian has been named the stablecoin's most influential person of 2026. So yeah, I don't know how stablecoin, how important this rating is, but I do think Sam is doing I'd say more than any other person in the system for the adoption of stablecoins. And he's working hard, and he's trying his best to get FRX USD or even just the Frax ecosystem type system, like the Clarity Act stablecoin system, to be adopted by other people. And he's working with politicians as well to create some clarity and all that. Okay, so this guy says, if you're considering looping on any market, utilization rate matters more than supply APY. And he's right. So most protocols where you borrow, the more that's borrowed, let's say that the supply stays constant, the more that's borrowed, then the interest rate goes up. And if it goes up to like a highly utilized, so like depends on the protocol, but let's say like 90 or 95% of the tokens are borrowed, then the interest rate jacks very quickly. It's hockey stick style interest rate. So slowly up, and then suddenly just exponential, like parabolic or whatever, it just goes crazy, like way up, right? So Corin replies to him and says, check out FlexMeow. Utilization is no longer a factor. So yeah, at Flex Meow, you can loop up. There's not a lot of opportunities there. There's only one right now, one market, but you can loop, and utilization is not a factor. Everyone selects their own borrow rate, and then if somebody wants to like take their assets out, there's no utilization locks either. Like if utilization goes to 100%, then everyone who's lent money there is locked in. But that's not the case on FlexMao. You can always take your money back if you're a lender. So yeah, if you're a looper, then you'll get redeemed. But long as you've been alive enough to overcome the upfront fee, then you're in profit, and they're just stopping the game for you, and you can decide whether or not you want to loop up again. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope this has been interesting and useful. Thank you so much for listening, and goodbye.